And we will be beginning the battle on Derelict Watcher. Let's go ahead and get into the first game, guys.
It's a two-player map, a lot of opportunities for cheeky openings. Spawning in the top right-hand position. He is the most consistent Zerg of late. He is SoulKey! And his opponent, 6 months ago, he was an afterthought in MLG. But now he is the WCS Korea champion. Can he be the Season 3 champ too? It is Deer!
And I am excited about this already. Deer starting out with a Forge Fast expansion.
Like it. He's already moved out with this probe. I mean, we saw Trap do some of the same moves against SoulKey. Of course, Deer and Trap practice together quite a bit. These early scouts, always a nice tool, obviously, to see what your opponent's doing. But if you are consistent about that sort of scouting, it's very difficult for SoulKey to get a read. SoulKey's not actually convinced that this is a Forge Fast expand yet.
Yeah, it's so great by doing a lot of scouts with a gateway expand, you kind of mask what build you're doing. So Deer, not able to deny the hatchery. SoulKey places down.
Every little edge counts in a nail-biting situation like this. An interesting move that we see SoulKey do almost every time is to throw out 4 to 6 lings blind. So many Protosses are cutting so many corners that it's increasingly easy to slip up.
A little bit of a misstep there. Misplaced his cannon, had to cancel it, loses 37 minerals. It's not that much, but as you said, every little bit counts,
Yes. I mean, we normally see the 4 Zerglings pop out, and Deer went cannon first. Normally you can go gateway cannon, and it's not really that big of a deal. But Deer's playing very cautious at this point in time. Now, we've talked a little bit about how difficult it is to go for a 4th basis Protoss. How does Deer adjust his play on this map?
Normally you want to start out with some sort of pressure or get your 3rd base super early. I mean, you're trying to put pressure on your opponent for the majority of the time in that mid-game stage so that they can't step out onto the map.
Cybernetics core goes down. Crowd has so much energy, they're just doing the clap down because they can.
So far, nothing is revealed yet for Deer. He has enough gas, though, to get a Stargate, to get +1, to get Warp Gate, all of these major items in the very beginning of the stage. SoulKey, on the other hand, still hasn't burned down anything, just droning, getting his regular queens up, and he's looking good.
We see no gas yet. Playing as standard as can be. Already have 1 Zealot, it looks like. Just doing a block at the front. Stargate goes down for Deer, but it's not an extremely fast Stargate. Decided with his first gas he wanted to get Warp Gate.
Did the Overlord see that?
Stalkers. It looks like he has spotted the Stargate.
That's a big scout out in the beginning stages, able to see the tech choice so fast. It gives you the ability to react a lot better so far.
Well, it looks like Deer's already beginning to move out. He's going to go Zealot, Stalker. He's going to make sure SoulKey isn't overly complacent, doesn't wind up with too much on the defensive side, too much on the droning side. He wants to get in there and deal damage right away. Overlord's well positioned for SoulKey, though. 7 minutes is when SoulKey's gonna make the big push to scout into the main base. But Deer ain't gonna wait that long.
Doing a little bit of pressure. Zealot and Stalker can do a lot of damage here. First drone is going to go down. Is he going to get a second one? It looks like he does.
He gets 2. He gets 3 drones.
And his Stalker will run out of there. Looks like his Zealot's still wailing away. The Queen will not go down.
That's a big target right now, and SoulKey makes a bold move. Hatchet 7 minutes. Roach Warren nowhere to be found, not even started. Deer has no concern. At this point in time, we see Deer also getting down the extra Phoenixes, immediately beginning to try to deny the scout from these Overlords.
And it looks like Deer is positioned. Yes, he's taking a third Nexus very fast here. 7 minutes and 45 seconds.
Nice little move here from Deer.
This can get shut down though. Zergling's moving across the map. +1 should be finished though pretty soon here, and Zealots will be extra effective against these Zerglings.
Now it looks like we see that metabolic boost is only about halfway done, so these Zerglings are quite slow. Deer hasn't begun the wall off of those structures yet. Oh, just a little bit more.
One more. Get it down. There it is. That will save this Nexus, hopefully. Although these Zerglings are getting to a great position, targeting down, the armor is going off. I don't think he can dead it. Oh, force heal. Oh, traps the Zerglings inside. Twilight Council going down immediately.
With that mothership core out, Deer, who loves to stretch it thin, having almost no defense, has successfully gotten up his expansion. But this is not just a pure defensive move. He already has 4 Phoenixes on the map, the money amount to lift up a Queen and pick it down with a single pull. So now SoulKey has 2 Spore Crawlers at each expansion. He can't attack when he's devoted that much resources. This is a safe third base. Deer with a great play.
Yes, he is. And the Twilight Council tells me he's going to go +2 Blink Stalkers. That's what it feels like right now. Twilight Council, there's the +2. Is he going to get Blink? Yes, and a lot of gateways get thrown down. He needs to get his 5th and 6th gases up as soon as possible, and then he's going to trek across the map and try to do damage. Still on this map, Day 9, I'm a little bit worried because, as we said, it's a very open map. Where is the position he's going to take to just stage his offense?
I mean, this truly is a difficult question to answer for both races. And SoulKey says, you know what? I don't want to engage. I'm just going to keep expanding. Doesn't matter if you're going to be going mass gateway, mass blink attacks. He is locked down. He is safe. Lings get picked off at the front, but Hydra's an interesting choice for SoulKey. Ordinarily, you'd call these the expensive choice. Not good so much for aggression early on, but with this range and then the speed coming up, it'll be a solid enough defense against this hatch.
There is an Overseer or an Overlord inside the main base. Just looking around, he sees how many Stalkers are out now. He sees that the Stargate is inactive. And he should start to piece things together that this is going to be a gigantic 2-base all-in. Looks like there is a little bit of damage being done over on the 3rd base side. Drones are getting picked up and eliminated very nicely. Income tab showing 64 to 60 Harvesters. SoulKey really preparing for this attack, cutting drones so early.
Now, this is a style that was popularized by SK Telecom's Reign, a real great of the Protoss race. 8-gate shove with Blink and Warp Prism, but Deer has done an incredible innovation to advance it farther forward. He's also getting gases 5 and 6, getting down the Robo Bay for the Colossus. Deer is not just going to try to go all in. This does have a follow-up, but we see SoulKey prepared as well, getting the +2 range, getting the Carapace, and the Infestation Pit. The pace of these players is absurd.
The question is, will SoulKey read into this that robotics bay? Does he have the material to deal with that? Right now, Deer is just out on the map, and he might backstab this 4th base. That'll be such a nice pickup because he can easily recall out of there with that mothership core.
Zealot's moving in. It's also going to be a Zealot warping at the top. SoulKey caught a little bit underprepared heading in, and it looks like, an easy snipe, and, gets away. The Roach counterattack is denied as well.
They need to get out of there so fast, but Stalkers are going to greet them. Now the Zealot drop into the main base. SoulKey, is he prepared for this? No units around there. Units out on the middle of the map. He's going to get a great drop, but the Spore Crawler is denying this for now. Will he be able to get warp-ins? Yes, he will. Zealots slaying drones.
But at the same time, SoulKey has opted to shove the front.
Oh,
Deer
man.
is trying to lock down, but the energy on the sentries will be high enough. Phoenix is also arrived. Drones wind up being the tool SoulKey uses to defend yet another enormous attack. Though he is even in supply, this is a very grave situation for the Zerg player.
That's right, and these Zealots are wiping away a little bit on the hatchery. The Roaches and Hydras get there to deny this attack. So there will be stabilization, but SoulKey is behind in economy. He needed that fourth base. He needed that economic advantage to start to overpower the Protoss. But right now, as that Colossus count grows, as the Stalker count grows, how will SoulKey deal with this?
I mean, this is brilliant by Deer. I mean, he must have asked the question, how do I hold wide spaces? Obviously, force fields aren't going to be so strong. If force fields aren't strong, Colossi aren't going to be that strong. What's the most mobile, space-friendly unit? A big pile of Blink Stalkers, and now he's gone up to 10 gates. He's circumventing all the issues of Protoss on this map by being the aggressor. We're seeing SoulKey tech up to Vipers, but look at Deer's uncanny timing. 2 Colossi are out. Vipers only halfway done.
They still need to get a lot of energy right now, so if he hits before those Vipers are able to get those abducts, this will be the perfect time to kill SoulKey. Right now, 198 supply army. He's approaching on the field. Hallucinated Colossus to bait some of those abducts.
Uh-oh. 38 Stalkers on the map. Can he hope to take them down?
There's the time warps. He's baiting the fight. Hydras and Roaches trying to close in. He's going to the north side to deny the fourth yet again. Force
Can he
fields
get
go
it?
down.
He gets the real one. Down it goes. Grabs a fake in the middle of the confusion.
Oh! A confidence blink on top of the Roach Hydra force. Will it be enough? Deer cleaning up the bottom flank. Another blink on top of the top flank. SoulKey has no units left. Blink Stalkers drilling
with
into
Lings
that.
and Roaches. I don't know if it's going to be enough. 10 Stalkers at a time. The drones are pulled yet again.
Oh, it
Roaches only
did!
slow.
He's laughing in the face of SoulKey. Still maintaining his Phoenixes. Now the Colossus is there.
SoulKey doing his best. More reblinks by Deer, but there's too many gateways to defend.
It's just too much. A 3-base economy. GG!
In the top right position with stunning strategic play, leading 1-0. It is SoulKey. And his opponents, the WCS Season 1 Korea champion, the most consistent Zerg of late, Wounded Star, SoulKey! Uh-oh, the first mistake Deer has ever made is due to RNG. He scouted the wrong way.
It will affect him a little bit. Of course, he's going for that Forge fast expansion, but this is going to force him to make that Forge. Now, if he scouted his opponent first, he would have been able to put that down that Nexus first. If he saw no early game spawning pool, but it's still okay. We saw him do this last game on Derelict Watcher.
A lot of respect to SoulKey. Says you are capable of the 6th pool. That's why he's scouting with the double probe.
If he sees any Zerglings pass him, he knows he can instantly just put down a pylon, throw down that cannon inside the main base, and he'll be okay. But he's going to now approach the base in the top left-hand corner.
Oh, this was awesome. It looks like SoulKey did his best to avoid this probe, but Deer tracks it down.
Oh, wow. Look at how much respect SoulKey is giving to Deer, saying, well, you could have done some sort of pylon photon cannon. And I think this is a response to the other probe that he saw with the Overlord down in the bottom left-hand position. That's why he brought out those 2 drones.
Really astute observation. If you're scouting with 2 probes, that means you had to have gone Forge first and are preparing against a 6th pool, which means you have the Forge done to cannon rush me. But SoulKey, as we see, more than prepared. Pulls a few off mining, but no big deal. My opponent delayed his own Nexus, so I already have the economic lead. It's fine to sack a little economy to guarantee that I'm going to stay alive.
And now we get to see how greedy Deer wants to be. Right now he could throw down the photon cannon, but no, he throws down double assimilator, accelerating his growth of his tech.
Wow.
That's very greedy. He can obviously die to some Zerglings at the beginning stage, but he feels very confident that no timing will hit him.
Yeah, very different experience this game for Deer than the last one. In the last game, Deer went cannon immediately and then got the gateway and then got the gas. But look, most of the infrastructure for Deer is already done. He's gonna actually try to cut the cannon.
Oh my God.
He's gonna try to get no cannon at all and just trust in the fact that most Zergs will not do any sort of roach pressure. It's kind of funny to think how often you take this cannon for granted. You just throw it down early. Well, Deer, he's gonna skip it for as long as possible.
Yeah. And you see SoulKey did check out and see the Forge down, so he knows this is the Forge fast expansion, but still putting up a 445 extractor. That's an incredibly fast extractor now. He's looking to get metabolic boost. This is something you would do against a gateway expand, but a lot of times you're not going to do this against Forge fast expand.
Well, this is going to be quite useful, though. We're already seeing the Forge +1 attack go down. We're seeing the gateway, warp gate research coming in. SoulKey's got to be so careful on this map that his metabolic boost allows him to scout out any proxy pylon, but SoulKey's interestingly holding a little bit of his funds back. Uh-oh, 8 lings coming out. What could that be?
Is this, okay, metabolic boost is going to be chosen. Maybe this is just to defend against the early Zealots. You saw them, of course, with the Overlord, so that makes a lot of sense. Warp Gate gonna be chrono boosted. That might be a tell now. SoulKey should be able to see this and say, why would you ever want to chrono boost that Warp Gate? Normally you're saying, well, he's gonna do some sort of Warp Gate attack on me.
And right now, Deer is walking straight into SoulKey's trap. These 2 Zealots are gonna get sniped. So rare to have 10 lings out at this early phase in the game, but SoulKey has so many answers. Gets the great surround, SoulKey. Deer attempting to micro.
Oh my gosh.
A Stalker arrives.
No
I don't
way.
think it's enough. He's gonna lose it all.
Still with the Stalker, he's able to micro against these 4 Zerglings. A great micro so far. There's the additional gateways that go down. Stargate as well, very delayed. Day 9.
Deer is likely preparing to take a 3rd base. He wants to throw down gateways for pressure, follow up with Void Rays for defense as he secures a 3rd. A very weird timing, but that is what is so successful against SoulKey, who seems not to be able to get deterred on his normal build. Layers coming up, Roach Warren, double gas down in 3rd, up and operational. But don't forget, SoulKey scouted the chrono boosted warp gate. He knows something can still be awry. I expect him to continue scouting.
This is interesting. Now, a 3rd gas is down. Normally when you see this 3rd gas as Zerg, you're saying there's probably a 4th gas as well, but that's not taken just yet. So he is banking up a lot of minerals. Oracle goes down after this. Wow, what an interesting way to play this out. This is a delayed Oracle with 4 gateways now starting to make a large pack of Zealots. It gets scouted out immediately to the Zerglings. And 7 roaches out in the way.
Now, while all this is going on, it's a ploy to distract and then get an Oracle up to do some real harassment in the mineral line. SoulKey continues to retreat, +1 attack is done for these Zealots. They deal massive damage to Zerglings, but with 7 roaches on the field, it ain't gonna be a problem. Zealots evaporate, Zerglings pick down the pylon.
And SoulKey has tabs on everything, even is gonna see this Oracle now. What is he going to do, though, to defend against it? Void Ray on the way out. Still no 3rd base. We're 9 minutes into the game. You normally will have that 3rd base up by now if you're going a Stargate tech.
Well, 1, 2, 3, maybe 5, 6 get killed off. Wow. But, oh dear, what a mistake. Shutting it down left and right. How does SoulKey answer? An instant Hydralisk Den. If you are trapped on a 2-base economy, Roach Hydra might be more inefficient, but there is no way you can handle the power-overwhelming Zerg mode that SoulKey's getting ready to dish out. It means that Deer has to stay defended. And what's the AoE? What are the damage-dealing units that Deer has? He doesn't have a Robo for Colossus. He's only just started a Twilight Council for Storm. Roach Hydra will decimate what Deer's preparing.
Yeah, this is so scary. Deer needs to hit really, really early. Now, if he tries to take this third base, I feel like he's just going to be overrun. SoulKey is just in a great place, stopping every aggression and getting ahead from the early stages.
Toronto's loving the action in the finals. SoulKey getting a clean edge at the start of the game. 10 minutes in, it looks like he's getting ready to tie it up. But Deer isn't the champion of Korea for nothing. He has all the capacity to pull it back. He's getting Blink, he's getting +2. Blink Stalker is a very difficult kind of army to control properly. Very easy to misstep, get surrounded, and lose everything. But Deer has shown time and again he's one of the best at controlling it.
Yeah, especially on Derelict Watcher. That's probably the hardest map to do that. Now on Whirlwind, it's still a little bit difficult defending your natural and your third base, but Deer has pulled it off before. Looking at it, fourth base, Spire going down for the Zerg, so he has a lot of potential switches into Mutalisks.
Yeah, you know, if the Protoss is low on economy, then Protoss is inflexible. He doesn't have enough gas to switch back and forth with his tech. So these little pokes from SoulKey are designed to force more gateway units, again, making him increasingly less flexible. How do you deal with that as Zerg? Not with the Hive, not with the dramatic high tech, just getting everything on the layer fully fleshed out, and then whatever you see, you build the appropriate response. Your economic lead lets you do that.
That's why you see him so active with that Overseer to begin with, but now pushing out with Hydralisk. This is going to force a reaction. He needs to get his Void Rays out of there as best as possible. He does have a recall. Is he going to use it, though? That's the big question. He will not catch up. Muscular Augments is not finished for those Hydralisks, so it gives him a little bit more time, but SoulKey preparing the attack.
Deer still scouting, but SoulKey, an uncharacteristic move, stepping in, leaving himself open for a retreat path. And what is SoulKey still engaging here for? There's a lot of Blink Stalkers. Andre, what is SoulKey up to? Deer's gonna punish it.
Aggressive Blink, but there are reinforcements. Roaches and Hydras closing in, but still not being able to deal with these Void Rays in the air. The Hydralisk count going down so fast. Deer pushing back.
Resources lost, show 4,700 to 2,650. SoulKey's got to be careful. Although he does have 4 bases, he only really has a 4th macro hatch.
And the Hydralisk coming up right now kind of means that he's not going to transition into the Muta switch. Normally you need to bank up all that gas. Because of that bad engagement, he's not able to do that. He has to prepare against a potential all-in or a potential pressure with these Blink Stalkers and Sentries. Right now, Deer has turned it around. He's recreating his Mothership Core, getting out some Colossi right now, and he's looking to have a very good all-around army composition.
And you know, even though SoulKey got battered back in that engagement, SoulKey does have so many bases and knows that he forced so many gateway units. This does give him the opportunity for later engagements, but
the Spire
been spotted.
And if this goes down, there are no Corruptors out to deal with these Colossus. Will it go down? Half-life down to 200.
48.
Will he get it?
And
no, SoulKey.
No, the Spire stays. A counterattack by SoulKey. Deer underprepared. The 4th base might be under fire, but the Zerg Swarm is here to greet it. It's gonna knock him back down to 3.
The 3rd base being taken out. This is a 2-base all-in right now. Deer needs to do a lot of damage, clearing out the 4th base, clearing out the 3rd, but does he have... He doesn't even have pylons on this side of the map. This wasn't meant for some sort of attack. It was just
transfuse on the Spire.
It goes down.
That could be the saving grace in this final moment. Only 3 Corruptors are prepared for the attack. 2 Colossi wait at home. A nightmare scenario for SoulKey. He had all the answers for everything that Deer could throw at him, but now the Colossi will get to roam free. SoulKey throwing some units away even. And right now the Mothership Core is gonna have to get ready for a recall soon. Zealots warp in to crush. A 4th base goes down in a vulnerable location. This game is not over yet.
He's going for the fight. He can't take this. No AoE. The Mothership Core. He targeted the Mothership Core. If he was able to get that, all the units would have been stranded out. But Deer was able to do it in time. Spire on the way out, so he will have units in time. Look at this, a Swarmos transition like we've seen so many times from SoulKey. Just a small count so far. 6 in production right now, 4 out on the field. It's going to be a total of 10. That's a scary number still, and he's not committing so much supply. to that unit.
Now there's a couple things that Deer is going to wish that he wasn't devoting too much to. Void Rays is going to be one of them. Charge is another. A transition to Swarm Host is not on Deer's mind. He's anticipating Corruptors. He's anticipating continued Roach Hydra. Get this, no observers on the map.
Oh, and now another counterattack into the third base, gets battered away. This is very stressful right now. A fifth base being taken. Yes, it is a 3-base Zerg against a 2-base Protoss, but Protoss have those Colossi, and because he delayed the Corruptor count for so long, there is a chance for Deer to still be in this. It just has to come down to the engagement, but we know SoulKey not to take a bad engagement.
Now, what's going to be great for SoulKey is if Deer begins to flood in a lot of Zealots. Zealots are going to begin hunting up to the top side. SoulKey has spotted that there are locusts on the map, and suddenly, onward they march. +1 melee. Why? Because 2-2 not going to be on the transition line for SoulKey right now. His Hydras are 2-1. Doesn't want to be upgrading carapace right now. Wants to make sure he is on the offensive. A lot of energy being wasted for Deer.
It is, but it was necessary. I mean, those locusts were approaching very fast. I love what Deer was doing, just going around to the locust, send to the southern side. But that's nowhere near any of his production structures or his natural, his third base, so he can buy a little bit more time.
I mean, right now, Deer's saying, okay, these Zealots are really not going to be very useful. You got Hydras, Corruptors, and Swarm Hosts. Zealots do nothing versus all of those, so he's going to begin making big counterattacks, but SoulKey's playing it safe. He's playing it slow and steady. Look at this vision scooping. He sends the Locust to the right before he sends his units down to grab the Zealots. He always knows the Swarm Hosts are safe, because if those die, SoulKey dies.
Now Deer starting to go around the army yet again. Locust being sent out in a similar place to the natural. Hydras and Corruptors are right behind. One Colossus almost goes down.
Oh, one falls. Will a second go down? No, the Locust a few inches away. Warp Prism spots the top base. Zealots spot the left, but oh my God, SoulKey with a Hydra counterattack.
Nexus again halfway down. Will this third base go down? He's not reacting to this, and he's gonna lose his third base.
Zealot warping in the main. Zealot attack at the left. Both these players continue to pummel one another down to their starting set of aces, but SoulKey still's got the money in the bank. 2,700. We see Deer beginning to gather his forces. He's re-expanding up in the main base. The Zealots don't really get too much damage done, but it's position that Deer was on the hunt for, and position he'll get.
Now we need to track these locusts, these Swarm Hosts. He can't, loses one of the High Templars! SoulKey was trying to kill as many High Templars as possible, and now Deer is trying to push on his opponent. He wants to kill those Swarm Hosts. He wants to end the game right now if he can have the engagement. More time just gives more time for SoulKey to get more units.
Got to be careful. Fungal growth gonna be coming up soon. Is it Storm? Is it Feedback? The decisions for the Templar are increasingly difficult. Hydra sweep to get into position, a fresh round of Locust. Storm goes down. See you later, Locust. No, SoulKey spreads them out. The fourth base is slowly starting to fall. SoulKey does not quite want to engage yet. Nice fungal on the front lines.
And here the Corruptors come. Prismatic alignment has been used. Great time over on top of the Locust. You're not going to be able to engage. And has Deer done this? Are you kidding me? Void Rays killing every Corruptor. Now the Swarm Hosts are under attack.
He needs a fresh round of Locusts. He needs them now. More Lings, Hydras, everything sweep forward. But where's the detection? The Observer's a little behind.
But the Locusts are allowing him to kill some of the Swarm Hosts. Deer moving forward. SoulKey down to 99 supply. Deer has a supply advantage. How did he do this?
What on earth? On two base again and again and again. Building the wrong units. It all took one engagement. Deer gets the GG!
No, he didn't!
In the top left-hand position, even though he's the best Zerg in the world, he needs your support. Whether you're online or live here in Toronto, make some noise for SoulKey! And up in the top right-hand corner. When it's time to count him out, he says it's time for a comeback, leading 2-0. It is Deer! Stunning pickup by Team Soul, having a great Protoss like Deer in their already stellar lineup.
Here is another situation where I think SoulKey really shines. His Roach Hydra is, I think, some of the top in the world. Not a lot of people know how to use it, and on this map, I think it's super effective. Taking a third base, defending your third base, you need Roaches, you need Hydras, and this is where he's able to really put pressure on his opponent, keep and maintain the economic advantage.
And you know, it's interesting, talking about that economic mid-game. I'm not so sure we're gonna see any gateways or any pools down for quite some time. This is the map where people say, nah, you're not gonna scout me, I'm gonna go Nexus first. He's gonna scout the tip just to see if an Overlord is en route. He sees nothing, which doesn't help him, doesn't hurt him either.
He will go and throw down a Forge, though, being a little bit safer. You can throw down a Gateway. It's very risky, especially going up to 17 supply. But Deer, he's not going to take that risk, and he will go and see. Oh, no, not yet. A third hatch is thrown down before the spawning pool, and an Extractor. Perfect build so far.
Oh, my God. Thank you. I'll do my best. Deer spots it. Now in this position, Deer is going to do the usual cannon skip, but we've seen so many people go 3 hatch gas, then pull Greetor. What's the Protoss answer? Let's do it, Greetor!
Let's do it, baby.
And of course, ladies and gentlemen, let's not forget to give an extra special shout out to the wonderful casters and hosts this weekend. Zoe Clutch, Mr. Bitter in Rotterdam, Ghostu User, the pro, helping give analysis and commentary on the S2. Without them, we wouldn't even be able to get here.
No, we would not.
Woo!
All right. All right, so right now I think Deer's in a great position. He hasn't thrown down the cannon until the 5-minute mark. That's a great time because you're not really expecting a lot of pressure. When you go 3 hatches really early, you're getting that metabolic boost. Most of your defense relies on scouting your opponent and using your queens. If you see no zealots, you don't make any units. And Deer kind of knows this and says, well, I don't have to put down a cannon for a long time. It's risky to throw out any Zerglings really, really far in advance. So he's just going to say, let's get a later cannon and really accelerate my tech, getting my starport or my Stargate very quickly.
Well, right now it looks like Deer has every sense that Overlord could scout in, that SoulKey could do an extreme strong response. Wow, 6 minutes for the second extractor. That's very early. Is he even mining from the one in the main? Whoa! SoulKey saying, well, I got to get 3 hatches down, man. Of course I've got the economy. Sentries trying to find if that Overlord's lurking about, because boy, would it be useful to see that Stargate play. More importantly, though, what's the transition for Deer?
Deer has a lot of options. He threw down double gas at his natural at 545. That's about 15 seconds faster, but that represents a lot of gas. You can accelerate, as I've been saying, your tech so much faster. So he can do a lot more things a lot earlier that you wouldn't expect. Starting out with Phoenixes now, I don't know. He can do a lot of different things. It could be just a regular roto, get a third base, or it could be some gateway pressure right after this. Because you have increased gas, you have the ability to make a lot of sentries in the early game stage, and therefore your pushes are a lot stronger.
Well, it looks like Phoenix sniff out the last Overlord. Nearby the base. The Speedlings provide a nice benefit, though. Deer can't move out of his base unless it goes through these Speedlings. Spore Crawler goes down, but we saw Bial popping down 2 per base. SoulKey likes to be more conservative, plant 1 in each base, and occasionally we see him add more queens. It's always a question of how do you transition to the next step.
Yeah, that's true. And right now he's just reacting completely. He needs to just verify exactly what his opponent is doing, shut down any excess money. Once he sees there's no third base, he's very wary of something to happen. That's why Deer is just poking with these Phoenixes, trying to find out as well what's going on.
Oh,
Oh, go ahead.
Got that Roach Warren. Overseer, and look at this. An extremely fast Spire.
Wow. And do the Phoenixes see this? No, not just yet. The Spore Crawler in a perfect position. Overlord on top of the Spire. It's a perfect hide right there, but what can he do with that?
Now, what SoulKey's hoping for is exactly what Deer's doing.
Yeah.
Deer's going for a defensive 4-gate play. He's going for another expansion. And how will SoulKey answer? Well, I mean, Deer's already getting some hints of it by seeing 6 geysers planted down.
He is starting to move out. Excuse me, Deer is starting to move out, which is really good. You want to apply that pressure, trying to get the third base or even put on his own pressure. Fourth base being taken. I love this choice. If it is going to be a 2-base all-in, you can easily cancel that or just keep it for some larva. Else, I mean, it just always works out. You're going to have a faster economy if there's no attack.
This is exactly what SoulKey used to crush SOS on Akalon Waste way back in Season 1. You see, the Colossus is only just now able to get started. The Mutalisks are coming so fast, and Corruptors, what a move! He's going to be able to shut down all of these Phoenixes, and then he's going to take out the Colossus.
Yeah, he's doing a big timing. That's what he's looking for. He's trying to put pressure on his opponent before there's enough time to get enough Stalkers, enough Void Rays out, and then he'll be able to just crush through the third base. This is perfect. It's going to empower his ground units. It's going to allow him to use his Zerglings, use his Roaches, use his Hydras against that third base and put constant pressure all day long.
But look at this unbelievable twist we're seeing out of Deer. Cancels the Colossus, throws down more gateways. He's not going to do the accidental overcommit. SoulKey does snatch up a sentry, and every one of those counts, because suddenly the gas of Deer is stretched thin. Corruptors begin to move to the top side. 1 cannon's down, and that's it. Anti-air, 4 Stalkers, 5 Phoenixes, and that is it.
Oh gosh, this is going to be really scary. Phoenixes will get to connect on the Mutas to begin with, but he's going to be pushed back. Is he going to continue going into the Mutas? Nice run through, but Stalker's there.
A brilliant run in on the main. And look what SoulKey's doing. He's just stockpiling money until he can start to get more reads. This is a very hard play, but one that Jaedong has popularized quite a bit. Hanging on Larva, he sees the push coming, no problem. 52 Lings lining up, and see you later, Mothership Core. No recall for you, Deer. You gotta commit or quit. Looks like all the sentries are gonna take some serious hits here. Phoenixes are starting to fall, and 52 Lings get ready to join the party.
That's right, and this is going to be so tough. The sentry count isn't that high. A very easy swarm, very easy overwhelm over here. Nice 360 concave. We're going to see it pretty soon. There the Zerglings come in. Mutas over top.
What
and
a
there's
play!
not enough. Not a single force field goes down. Every single Stalker, every Immortal will get crushed in this engagement.
Oh, SoulKey with a great move, with a great trap, a superior supply advantage. The corrupted Stalkers at the backside are able to break through. Deer has such good timing.
An amazing pushback. I really didn't think he was going to be able to do that. Now Blink is ready, but still a lot of Zerglings in queue. This is still a very scary time. He lost his sentries. This is the point where you can still be overwhelmed easily. I think SoulKey just needs to mass up in another round of units and prepare for this surround. But +2 just about to finish. Blink Stalkers are up now, so this might get a little bit tricky for our Zerg player.
Looks like SoulKey's gonna move around every time SoulKey's supposed to win. Deer comes out with a big surprise answer. Deer doesn't have any defense at this expo, but Deer's reaction times are gonna be good enough.
I mean, he's doing that 4 or 5 seconds in advance of a lot of players that would see that. Such great reaction timing, now finally taking his 7th and 8th gas. His Zerglings getting chewed up in the middle of the map.
In my eyes, the big thing that's missing for SoulKey is these evolution chambers. Very inactive. Third base under some serious duress. Spines. Are we going to see another early base trade situation? Well, it is going to be a canceled third for Deer.
This is going to be nice, but I mean, there's still a lot of units inside the the third base now. Stalkers ravaging everything now. Immortals. There are no spine crawlers set up. I don't know how Deer is able to do this so consistently. There was such a nice advantage. Cannons being thrown down. Stalkers behind this.
Oh gosh, is Deer gonna both defend and kill bases at the same time? Oh
my God.
Deer, how does he always have these answers? The muta count though is extremely high. The main is exposed and it looks like it's gonna be a commitment. Deer is getting stretched mighty thin. SoulKey still has some bases to spare.
16 Zerglings, 3 mutas on the way out. These mutas in the main base, I think they're going to be pushed back. Pylon going down to try to repower those 3 cannons. In the meantime, everything that's getting rallied is instantly destroyed at the natural and the main base. Now, the cannons are about to pop here. He needs to take down that pylon.
He needs to take it out. It's up. Oh no! SoulKey not making the best decisions in this trade situation as Mutalisk getting split up. The base count all spotted. Deer's gonna be losing his expansions, but SoulKey's gonna lose his Spire. SoulKey's gonna lose the main.
And now, oh my God,
GG, no way!
Ladies and gentlemen, up 3-0, winner of WCS Korea. Give a cheer for SoulDeer! And in the top left-hand corner, he is down. Cheer for him if you want him to come back. WCS Season 1 Korea winner, it is SoulKey!
You know, SoulKey always seems to play better when he's behind in a series. There's countless times I've seen him down 0 and X and tie it back up, X and X. For Deer, I really think it's just time to relax, cruise through with a very standard build, not take a lot of big risks. Looks like the Forge is going down blind. Oh my goodness.
What is this? What is this?
You can place a pylon here and a cannon here, and then slip your way up to the high ground. But it looks like SoulKey is heading to greet him. Shut down! Now, just because the normal cannon rush didn't get going doesn't mean that round 2 isn't going to be following up.
It's true, but there are drones already being sent here. He's going to continue on with, no, he's going to give up the cannon rush. Nexus goes down, and there's 3 drones out in the field, 4 drones out in the field, ready to defend against this probe.
Now that's a terrifying proposition for SoulKey. But the instant he spots this Forge, he's going to give himself a pat on the back. Deer made a big commitment going 13 Forge, and it did not pay off.
Spawning pool is almost finished. That should stabilize things a lot for SoulKey in his mind. Gateway goes down. Of course, the cannon will go down properly after that. But if we look, I mean, his assimilators aren't nearly as fast as we've seen in past games. Now throwing them down still for the cannon. Wow, that's a little bit risky, but he understands the timings. And we have a very passive game as we head into the early mid-game stages.
SoulKey, I mean, Deer, not going to do any safe moves at this point in time. He's going to go for as much pressure to freak SoulKey out as possible. Even though SoulKey held that off, that's a pretty significant fright to begin game 4. I almost got cannon rushed. And now that I've held it off, Deer still's getting a fast Nexus. Still's getting his usual wall off up. Cybernetics core plants, both pylons are spotted by the Overlord, so SoulKey's going to stay within sight range of them to make sure that he can see exactly what tech is coming up.
Yeah, it's a smart thing to do just to make sure you know where all pylons are in the beginning stages, because that's where all techs are out. There's normally 3 pylons, sometimes 2 pylons out on the map for you to actually look for that tech. So if you don't see any tech around there, something is up. SoulKey very smart and having his overlords very near those 2.
SoulKey also checking this far backside, making sure nothing is awry. But one Zealot pops out for Deer. The second Zealot was in production, but a quick cancel, and Deer is stockpiling a mighty large chunk of gas there.
And look at that, SoulKey instantly sees this. It's a pretty early Stargate, all in all. We've seen Deer do this before in WCS Korea. He likes to go Oracle in the beginning and then into Void Ray, try to chuck away at his opponent, and at the third base especially.
See +1 ground weapon also going up Deer. Preparing up for just a usual long-term play. And really, in my eyes, SoulKey's got to be asking himself, what's going to be my late game play? Because we've seen him do some responses that are Roach Hydra and Swarm Host based. We've seen him try to go for the Mutalisk Corruptor play, but I mean, Deer always seems to have a solid answer.
Deer is changing up now, going for Phoenixes. And yeah, I have to really wonder about that. I mean, SoulKey has been stopped all 3 games with his switches. And I feel like SoulKey just needs to stay on one thing a little bit longer because Deer is always hitting those transition timings where it's weakest.
SoulKey's continuing to try to apply pressure at the front. He's looking for any win here. He wants to make sure he shuts down these bases. But I mean, my God, the way that Deer answers Mutalisks is unlike anything I've ever seen. Most players stick passive. Deer spots it, throws down a couple of extra gateways, Chronos blink, and charges all the way. And just always just stilts the pressure right from the get-go.
I feel like the game plan for SoulKey would be to kind of bait that attack coming out and then just not go mutas at all. Go something like Infestors, maybe hide the Infestors, or just get a large group of Roach Hydra. Be able to overwhelm that mass Blink Stalker attack, and from there, you're going to be way, way far ahead because of the commitment Deer had to make for that. But now, I mean, it's just standard play coming out from Deer all around. Phoenixes are out in the field 4, 5th one on the way. Robotics facility being chosen at the 8-minute mark. So he's looking like he just wants to take his third base and go into macro mode, or of course he could go all in.
SoulKey is honestly hoping for that. He does not want to be up against any sort of aggression. He has thrown down a pair of spores at each base. That's a sign that SoulKey's gearing up to go for that Spire tech, but the Queen's falling. There's a pylon up, and oh no! SoulKey does not recognize yet. He's got to begin getting those roaches out fast.
Oh, and he's going Hydralisks. Normally when you go Hydras, you do not want to be going a lot of roaches, but somehow he senses it right now.
Amazing star sense by SoulKey, spotting it. Couple of those roaches will be constructed at each base.
Oh, here it comes. 4 Zealots warped in. The other 4 are going to join up.
Queen's going to pop out. SoulKey's got to answer fast, but he has a very nice split on where his units are going down. First thing getting targeted, the Spore Crawlers. The drones all go on hold position to try to protect.
Oh, really a smart play coming out of our Zerg player, stopping him from getting close to that Spore Crawler. If he does, the Queen is dead. Another round of Zealots coming in here. SoulKey under a lot of pressure. Will he be able to defend? 10 roaches underway.
SoulKey's got his roaches stuck behind the drones. It's a very safe position, but there's a ton of Zealots here. 10 roaches being produced right now. The drones are slowly falling. The Queen stuck in a corner. More Zerglings try to arrive to the scene, but +1's done. An incredible timing attack by Deer.
Oh my gosh.
More roaches getting lifted, but the energy of the Phoenixes is out.
That's right, the pylon gets taken out. SoulKey might be able to hold this off. Now roaches against Zealots. He's going to be able to kite for days. Third base still not touched. And I do feel like he's going to fend this off with flying colors.
SoulKey.
Some impressive play defending that. Great crisis management, and now looking to deny the third base, but look at the transition already. Deer has his first Colossus out in the field. Third Nexus is already down. The rocks are still being worked on, but I think he will.
Oh my gosh. He's got to be careful not to get crushed.
Oh no!
Oh no! With a few seconds to spare, the roaches arrive in time to see the third base down, and crisis after crisis. This is why players say that this is a Protoss-favored map. Protoss can aggress and defend without much of an issue at all. The Colossus easily able to dart between all three bases. Muscular augments at the Hydra Den means SoulKey is planning to do a little bit more than defend.
Yeah, really, really cool stuff. But I'm not sure if you can really do much with that muscular augments. Roach Hydra, we talk about this all the time. You need open areas to attack.
Yes.
And on this map, you just saw it. It's hard to aggress up into this third base, and that's why we normally see the Muta switches. But instead, look at what we see. Hive on the way. We're looking at very fast Vipers in this game.
I don't know if Deer's going to let SoulKey do much of anything fast other than maybe lose all his bases. SoulKey is up against the ropes.
Yeah.
Deer has been playing fantastically every single game. The proxy pylon hasn't been spotted.
Oh, goodness. And there's still no response to these Colossus. There are 2 Colossus in this army composition. Where are the Corruptors? I don't even think a Spire is being made. Only Roach Hydra, a lot of sentries. And this might be the last battle for SoulKey as Deer starts pushing on in.
Deer, does he have range on the Colossus? It looks like indeed he does. And Deer is going to take no risks in this final situation. He's carefully plotting his way forward, making sure that his reinforcements can't be denied. He's protecting the pylon. Victory is a few inches away. And SoulKey, what does he do? How can he play from here?
It's going to be tough. I love what Deer is doing, though. He's currently supply capped, but he's just waiting until he has an increased force. More surface area makes it a lot harder for you to get around into those Colossus. He has a low Colossus count, but he does want to drill. Vipers on the way. If SoulKey can hold on a little bit longer, he might be able to hold this off. But now going into the third base, he has a very clear way to take out these Hydras and make a good wall of sentry force fields. What he's going to do?
What a concave from SoulKey, but the drone's Hydra stuck on the wrong side. The Colossus pull up to the high ground. Vipers are done, but Deer's angle is amazing. Oh, drones get roasted one at a time. Can he get enough for abduct? He just now has enough energy. But SoulKey has been planning the surround from moment one. How does he abduct at the correct angle?
It's so difficult here. I mean, both sides can just be blinked upon instantly. You throw down force fields on the other side and you keep everything safe. Vipers getting in position, but just as that happens, Phoenixes get there. And here it is.
Blinding cloud! Blinding cloud! Oh no! Everything's blinded! He needs to target fire the Colossus now! Can he get them down? SoulKey's thrown everything into the blinding cloud, but the answer is no. Deer has too many gateway units. The Colossus too strong!
This is it, day 9. He's drilling in. GG! Deer will sweep the finals of WCS Season 3. An amazing display of Protoss versus Zerg of every matchup. He's come in here and swept the majority of players, and he stands tall.
A clean 4-0 sweep for Deer, running a full gamut of builds versus Protoss, Terran, and Zerg alike. Nothing seems to be able to stop Deer. He always has an answer.
He just made SoulKey look so silly in that series. I mean, I can't believe how well he did. Everybody that played against SoulKey basically got devastated. I mean, with the exception of MC, who surprised them a lot of times, SoulKey was untouched. Everybody thought this was going to be a very close series, and then Deer sweeps. How does that happen, Dana?
With that victory, Deer secured himself a spot at BlizzCon. He secured himself a first place trophy. Season 1, Season 2, won by Terran's Innovation and Bomber, but here he gets a first place trophy representing the Protoss race. Souls Deer! Having bested the top players from all regions, from all races,